Welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm your host, Allison, and I'm here today with Joaquin Gonzalez from Tire Group International. Joaquin, we hear Cosmo Tires is approaching its 30-year anniversary. So tell us about that journey.
Yeah, we are turning 30 years old here in a little bit, and it's kind of crazy to look back at, how far we've come as a brand since 1995 and where we started our humble beginnings in producing, bias, ag, OTR, and industrial light truck bias tires and truck bias tires in 95 to where we are today with a full range of radialized product. I think that's kind of like the reason that Cosmo was born. We saw a need back in 95 when we were really focused on Latin America and the Caribbean and the, subtropical environment of the weather down there, the overloading because there is no DOT regulations, and we saw Asian tires continue to fail. And those were the humble beginnings of Cosmo, finding the right manufacturing partner that would overbuild specific products, and a star was born. And it took some time, and throughout the years we kept on adding additional segments, and it wasn't until 2008 that we got into the medium commercial truck tire line out of China. And today it's a full range of product from passenger, light truck, SUV, CUV, mud tires, all-terrain tires, and a full gamut of medium commercial truck tires. So we've grown quite a bit in the last 30 years, and I'm proud to be a part of that growth.
That's awesome. And I know you mentioned engineering there, so tell us a little bit more about how important engineering is.
I never thought that we would get as involved as we are in terms of actually having a hand in really engineering tires, but that kind of tells you a little bit about how the market is, and specifically in how we go to market in terms of truly understanding what the customer's needs are. And when you talk to other wholesalers, I mean, wholesalers really don't use tires. I mean, wholesalers really are looking just at the bottom line. And when you just look at that, that's a really short-sighted approach to selling, because then it's always going to be just about price and how much margin somebody can make on a specific product. But when you go and visit these customers and you visit their customers, and you go and see where those tires are ending up at, and seeing the overweight conditions that they're going to be in and why they're failing, and understanding the what the consumer is demanding for the tires, then it suits you better than figure out what is it that we need to do to be able to deliver a tire that could withstand all of that, and the consumer could be proud to have made this purchase. And that's led us into developing and over engineering a lot of our tires. We were adding more natural rubber and reinforcing our green tire to really be able to withstand those weights, till today where we have the only mud rated tire in the tire industry in our mud kicker. So it's those little things that really make us stand out, and it's something that the end consumer could really take advantage of, and satisfy specific needs that they have, and what they're looking for in a tire.
Absolutely. It sounds like you have an incredible range there. And I know we've mentioned Kool Cat. So tell us a little bit about what it means to be a Kool Cat and what does it take?
Yeah, Cool Cat is really at the genesis of Cosmo Tires. I mean, it's what we're all about. I mean, we're a serious manufacturer, we're a serious brand, but we're trying to create more than just selling a tire. We're trying to create a lifestyle brand. If you look at all of our marketing and everything that we do, from being involved in drifting and various different disciplines in motorsports, to our mountain bike team, to our pro soccer team that we're involved, all the lifestyle things that we do with the brand, we're really trying to showcase is we're more than just a tire brand. We're really a lifestyle brand. And we try to really focus on creating something with the brand, not just selling tires. And I think that's important. I think that most dealers are really always stuck to units and stuck to numbers, and that's all great and that's needed because that pays the bills. But at the end of the day, they're really not building anything. They're just moving units for the sake of moving units. Being a cool cat is being part of something bigger than just a tire, being part of a lifestyle, and being recognized as you want your car to be riding on Cosmo tires because it makes you feel good.
All right, that is awesome. Absolutely love that mindset. And tell us a little about in a tire world with bland or alphanumeric model names, why did you choose a different path?
Yeah, so it's kind of with that same motto of being cool cat. It's I always joke with my friends because when we first launched the different names that we have for Cosmo, everything from Mucho Macho to Tigre, Jefe, and the likes, they were like, "Oh, it's pretty funny." I'm like, "Well, I think we're driving home the message that we set out to do, which is be different, right?" And when you're different, people kind of remember that thing. And I would always ask my friends and people, I'm like, do you know what, number one, do you know what brand you have on your car? They're like, no. And those that would know the brand, I'm like, do you know what model it is? They're like, no. Well, I'm like, I bet you if you had some Cosmo Mucho Machos on, you know exactly that you had them on. And they're like, yeah, I've never really thought about that. So, you know what? It's something different. I think that we're making the tire experience more human. When consumers go to buy, a tire and they see, X brand ASP0493, like, what is that? Who cares about the compound number or whatever may be the case? I think that when you humanize the experience, I think you connect more with your consumer. And I think that's pretty evident in everything that we do in Cosmo. So anytime you interact with our brand, there's that component where we're really trying to tie in with the consumer and really bring the dealers along. So
And so there you mentioned some of your tire names have a little bit of a Hispanic connotation. Is there a reason for that?
yeah, the Hispanic consumer market makes up 25% of the overall consumer market in the US. So we thought it would be a very unique idea to really focus on that market with names that not only appeal to the general public, but also keeps them in mind.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing today, Joaquin. Absolutely loved having you here. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.